Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. So today you get the best of two worlds, two techniques in one video. Hopefully I can keep it short for you, but some of you don't care. Some of you want really long videos. I can't control how long they end up. It just depends how fast that I can get this done. So I am prepping for the Amazon Live that was back on April 4th. So if you missed it, I don't know what to say. You're going to see the reveals today other than that. So you don't really miss out. You just miss out on what I made that actual day. These are going to be the reveals. So I've been doing that lately every month because a lot of you cannot log in, get on whatever device. It's hard for a lot of people to watch the Amazon Lives. So at least you get to see what I revealed that day. On that Amazon Live, I am not doing like a particular mold per se, no new mold out or whatever. We are doing two techniques with two different resins. So today we're going to do the blooms to show you how to do the blooms. So I chose these coasters from Let's Resin, and there's 4 in the set. And then I'm also going to do the Petri effect with the Daniel Cooper resin. So that's going to be a fun video packed full of information. So get your notepad out and let's take some notes. Hey, Mr. Glitz.
What's packed? What you packing?
You want to do this with me?
You packing heat, baby?
No.
Oh. Now I'm sanding a big table out there.
Okay. All right, let me get the first batch of resin ready, pick my colors, and I'll be right back.
In a radiant haze, crafting a masterpiece that's gonna amaze. Glitz and glitter, lighting up the night, painting dreams with a shimmer so bright. Rhinestones dancing, catching every eye. This is my moment, gonna touch the sky. Dipped in gold with a stroke of flare, diamonds shine in the midnight air. Glue and gems, they're my magic spell, turning the ordinary into something.
Step 1 for the process. There's 3 different resins you can use. I'm going to do beginner friendly, like this should work for you if you've never done it before. This is the tabletop resin by Let's Resin. This one you don't need to do anything but mix it up, debubble it is very important, and then pour it in. I've split it into 2 because it's very thick resin and the bubbles are very hard to get out of it, even in a vacuum chamber. Bubble removers may not be able to get unless you keep a very thin layer in your cup. You could try, but I didn't do that because I wanted to get my resin done as quickly as possible. Then I'm just going to fill these up halfway. The second resin is their 4-hour fast cure. If you use a 4-hour fast cure, you're going to want to wait and let that heat up to 33 degrees Celsius before you pour it into your coasters. The third resin you can use, and I'm talking all Let's Resin brand. I don't know about other brands. The third Let's Resin brand you can use is their normal 1-to-1 epoxy. And that one you need to heat up, I think it was between 42 and 46 degrees Celsius before you pour it. So that's why I chose the tabletop. It's the thickest resin. It's the least amount of wait time. And that's what we're doing here. But they will all work if you wait the proper temperature to pour it out. Number 2 thing that's very important is to get those bubbles out, because those bubbles are going to hinder your final product. It may want to bloom with the bubbles, but the blooming is going to be very spotty, I guess is a good word, very lacy, because the pigment paste is going to work around those bubbles that are in there. So it's very important to get the bubbles out. If you don't have a bubble remover or a vacuum chamber, you can use a, let me just try to get this off. You can use a heat gun to try to get the bubbles popped before you move on. I'm just filling these about 1/3 of the way, maybe. I can't really tell from here. You could do 1/3 or 1/2. I didn't know how much they held, so I'm just guessing here. I mixed up 7 ounces. I do need about 1 ounce left behind for the white, and that's going to be for our ocean white pigment paste. And that's going to make our petals. I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to look from eye level, see if they're all about the same. I don't need as much in this cup for my white, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour it into here. Save the rest for my white. So those two factors right off the bat are very, very important to have a successful bloom. The right resin at the right temperature and no bubbles. If you can do that, then you are on your way to a successful bloom. Now, pouring it in, obviously I pour bubbles. That's just what happens. And what you want to do is take a lighter and pop those bubbles that I just created. This is not my best one for this. I need to fill it with gas. And there's something in there. Make sure it's free and clear of anything. So I'm just going to pop these bubbles, and then I'm going to drop my inks. Something black in this one too. I don't know where that came from. So I can see all the bubbles, all the little micro bubbles on the surface. So I'm just going to pop all those. And you can continue popping the bubbles after your white is down. Your alcohol ink as well is going to help pop those bubbles. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to start dropping our inks so they can start moving. Let me just clean up. We're going to have a lot going on today. All right, so we are going to do red and yellow in the first one. Red. Probably use, well, this one is called rose. It's not really red. Mostly all the time I lose my yellows. So we'll see what happens today. So it's almost like an orange and yellow. And then I'm going to use, green, emerald green, and aqua in one. And I forgot to go around the edge. Go around the edge of your coaster with some sort of a tool to knock all the bubbles that are hanging onto the sides off. I see a couple. That's just going to give us a sharp edge later on when we unmold them. See, there's a bubble hanging out there. Hanging out there. Just get them away from your edge. I don't see any more. There's one here. Let them surface and pop, otherwise it will hurt your fingers if you get it caught on there when you're handling them. Here's one here. Okay, there's the green. Let's do some blue. And I just let it sit for a few minutes, see what it's going to do, and then I end up swirling them together. This one I'm going to go a little darker, azure blue and purple. See what they do for a few minutes, and then, then I'm probably going to swirl them, and then the last one I'm going to do all the colors in one. So just a few drops of everything. Here's a magenta I have not used. Let's just see. Oh, this is a pink. Let's see what we get with all these colors. Yellow. Got some blue here. The green. Could very well get brown, but we might have like a flower at the end of its life. I don't know. Let's get the purple in. Oops. I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna, I'm gonna add a little more yellow and a little more rose to this one. I'm just going to take my dotting tool here and I'm going to swirl them, I should say, so they don't look patchy like that. Do the same for this, and then if you want to adjust your colors, even after this, because they are going to suck into the center. That's what resin does. Oh, I see a bubble there. Come on out of there. So if you don't like the way they came out, just add some where you want them. Now's a good time to do that. I hope this one doesn't like turn brown, but we'll see. We shall see. Okay, I'm going to go back over them with the lighter. My ceiling fan is on high, so that's not helping my lighter stay on. Get those bubbles over there in the corner out of there. There's one here. Come on. Bubbles are not good in blooms. That's like the biggest thing I don't want. For the white, so I'm going to cap all these. We're going to use these for the Petri here in a few minutes. For the white, what I do, the best thing I can do is measure it on my stick. Let's push this back. So I use the ocean white all the time for every bloom I do. That's just my go-to pigment paste. Many different pigment pastes will work, but this is the one I've always used. See all these bubbles popping up? I really need to go shut my... Oh, tell me this one's out now? Goodness gracious. I really need to go shut my fan off. That's not helping any. I measure this on my stick because I don't really know how much white I ever end up with. It's very thick. It's not empty. It's just needs to come down. Come on. Let's go. Why can't I get it out? Finally, so I do one drop at a time. Normally, I'll need two. I'm just going to go ahead and do two because this is more than I normally have left over for white. And what I'm looking for is just opaque. Not too opaque, but more than this, more than what I have right now. So I'm going to do another drop on my stick. I'm not dropping it into my resin because I can't control it that way. If I have too much on the stick, then I can wipe it off the stick before it goes in here. Then I'm going to add this to the piping bag. You don't have to add it to a piping bag, but I like to have that kind of control. So if your white is too light, then you're not going to really see your petals. That's about right here. This is the color that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to add that to a piping bag here. And to do that, I just grab a cup, open it here, and drain it in there. I did stir bubbles into the white, but that doesn't seem to make a difference. And again, if you see bubbles popping up, zap them with your lighter. You don't want to spray it with alcohol in this technique. Just get yourself a good lighter, a long neck lighter, whatever you need. I do see some bubbles at the bottom of that one I need to get out. I see the bubbles at the bottom of a couple of them, but I need a thinner dotting tool to do that, okay? Just need to get those to come to the surface so we could pop them. Oops. This one looks okay. Come on. All right. I think we're ready to go. I do want some more blue in this one, though. I don't really want that much green. I mean, it'll look like leaves, which is fine, but I do want some blue in there. So I'm just going to re-stir. And see how that goes. Okay, so next step is to just cut our bag, and you can make your petals in any shape that you want. See these things popping up all the time? I'm just going to do the best one that I learned with. And I cut my bag. Normally I like to tie the bags, but because I cut it first and not last, I'm not going to be able to tie it very well. Usually I'll tie the bag and then cut the rest off. There we go. Just to keep it tight for me. So I'm just going to do the easiest technique, which is drawing circles. And I don't like a really thin line. I like more of a thicker line. So let's start with this one. The thicker line seems to let it bloom nicer, because that's where your resin is coming from, is from the white. So you need enough on that line for it to be moving in the resin. So I'm just doing circles here, and then I may go back depending on how much I have left and just do some random craziness just to give it a little bit more of a random look than a circular petal. But with doing 4 of them, I didn't know how much I needed, and I should have some left. I take mine usually all the way out, so I do have enough left to go haphazard. And when I mean that, I'm just like this. Just a little bit of craziness, so my petals don't look so perfect when they bloom. And that's all I do. And I'll leave this white here, and I'm going to probably marble that like I normally do. So take yourself a nice dotting tool. Oh my, this just came off. Pop your bubbles, which I need to fill this. So let me just get that one out of here. Then you're going to draw your petals however you want to draw them. I like to pull in. Some people pull out. I like to pull mine in. And then I'm going to go back and swirl the center here when I'm finished with them all. I'm just going to let it get thick because swirling the center is pretty important. And I like it to stay, so the thicker the resin is, the more it's going to stay in place. You can even come back in 5-10 minutes and swirl your center. That way it for sure will stay in place. So I just cut it in like eight portions, and I do wipe my stick off between them. You don't have to. This one should be interesting. Okay, I'm just going to refill my lighter, give it a few minutes, pop all the bubbles, and then we'll swirl. So when you can't get your lighters to refill, you just grab a new one. And this is much better. So it's popping those bubbles beautifully. And it's also warming up that resin at the same time so it can move. And as you can see, it's already moving. I'm just hoping my white's not too light. Little worried about that. So let's just go ahead and swirl our centers. It's nice and thick. Some people like to put stuff in their centers. I don't. You can put, I don't know, glitter, rocks, whatever you want as a centerpiece. I never liked that, so I don't do it. I've tried it a few times hoping I would like it. I just don't. Sometimes it doesn't come out centered because you can't control what's going to happen, which way it's going to bloom. So hopefully these will work out nicely. So we're just going to move these back, and I'm going to mix up some of the Daniel Cooper resin for the Petri effect. And the Daniel Cooper resin comes in these bottles. I call it Daniel Cooper resin only because his face put on the bottle. This is their original formula before they changed it a few years ago, and this gives you the best results. You can use other resins, but this one seems to give you the best results. So they kept it on their shelf in these bottles. These are 11.5 ounce bottles. So you'll get 25 23 ounces total when you purchase this one. So let me clean up. Oh, we need to do something with this extra. What I'm gonna do, I'm going to put it into this little cup, drip some ink or paste or something in here. We're gonna make us some little pendants out of it. That seems to be what I always do with my leftover white, because I don't ever know what to do with white. So why not do that? Let me move all these inks here. I'm going to continue popping the bubbles as they surface. It shouldn't continue very long to surface. I already barely see any left. So let me just quick do that. That colorful one is going to be pretty. I just wanted you guys to see different color schemes, so that's why I didn't do them all the same. Here's this. Let's get my handy dandy pendant mold out that I love to use. And we're going to drip some inks in here. Actually, not inks. I like to use my paste. We can use ink, so let's use ink since they're already out. Let's do, where's that deep blue? Azure. Let's do green and blue. Let's do 2 colors. Whoops, I just got it in there. We're going to do green and blue. Swirl it with a stick. Now this is going to have some bubbles in it. Hopefully they're not completely and utterly ruined. I need a scribe or something. Get some white back into there. And let's pour some pretty pendants. And if you see that you run out of some color, oops, that one's too full. I need to get some of that out of there. Then you just drip more color in. Wow, I'm really overfilling today. What's going on? Let's get this one. I need to get some of that one out. It's getting really thick and gooey. Hopefully I didn't ruin this one now. We'll see on demold, right? If you can get them done perfectly, then there's really no trimming. That's always my goal. Let's do another drip of blue. Oh shoot, not 2. And I need a spatula. Let's do this one here. That. And we got enough left for a smaller one. Let's do this one. Scrape it all out and use it all up. And if they're not nice, then at least we tried, right? I just want to wash this off real quick with some alcohol because it's really thick. Get my tools cleaned. All right, that looks good. I'm going to move that off of my table and mix up, I don't know, ounce and a half, maybe 2 ounces at the most, because you don't need a lot. Is that a... You don't need a lot of resin when you're doing those cabochon molds. Otherwise, you're going to end up with too much work to do, and the effect isn't going to work if you have too much on your plate. I decided to do 2 ounces. This is the Daniel Cooper in here. What you get in the kit for this mold, you get both of these molds, and then you get these closed bezels. So these 4 fit in the closed bezels. These ones do not fit in the closed bezel, just so you know. They're not all going to fit in there. So I have debubbled it, of course. You want to get every bubble out of there. so you can get the best results. You're going to need a sinker white. It comes in their kits, their alcohol ink kits, and you definitely want to shake this well. I have a little mini vortex mixer on the side over here, if you can hear that, and that mixes it really well for you. So that's pretty important to have this mixed super duper well. So for sake of showing you a little bit of everything, I'm just going to go and do as many as I can of one of each. You don't want to fill them completely up. We need room for our back coat, and we also need room to drip our inks in. So almost all the way up, but not quite full. Generally, I back these with black. You can back them with any color you want though. You're going to end up with some negative space, and that's what that color in the backing is going to do. Let's start from up here since we already have a teardrop on that one. So I'm just leaving the smallest space at the top just for that back layer. I might be able to get one of each. Now they do have written on this mold how much it holds. This one completely holds 2.4. This one holds 4.2. So we're going to see what, I still have a little bit left. So we'll do a couple. I think I filled that one too high, but we'll do another couple of them. And again, we don't want to wait too long because we need to time this. After we drip in all the inks, oh wow, I'm going to have a lot. Once we drip in all the inks and the sinker white over them, that one's got black in there. Then we wait 1 hour, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to swirl it. I think that's about it. I don't know if I could scrape one more heart out of here, probably. Oh, I'm going to have a lot. I could probably scrape another one out of here. Debubble is very important too. You want these to be clear. Goodness, 2 ounces got us very far. Very far. That one's got the most bubbles in it. So the alcohol inks should do a good job popping them. So now is the time where we're going to just pick colors. I'm not great at color picking. Let me find my scribe here. There's something floating. Don't want anything in there. If it looks like it's unmixed, mix it up. I don't know what that is. Oh, I think it's just a reflection of the lighting. Get that drip out of here. So we're going to start dripping inks. Gosh, I hope these aren't, no, they're not too full. Let's do what I did before. So let's do some with a couple of colors. And some with a bunch of colors. And let's do orange. Let's do orange and green. Will orange and green look good? I don't know. Could turn to brown, I guess. I do have a color chart, but that might look cool. I always like blue and purple together. I love purple and yellow together. Let's add a different blue. So just go through. Purple and yellow I absolutely love together. I did it by accident one day in this, and it came out so pretty. It was my favorite one. So I'm going to do a couple of them. Purple and yellow. Whether you guys like it or not, I'm not sure. But I did. And let's do green and blue. Once we have our inks in, then we're going to go back through with our, let's do red, orange, and yellow. I always end up losing a lot of my yellow. Let's do, this one's going to turn green. Blue and yellow will turn green. typically go back in with my yellows. Let's do another little bit of blue right there. See that green? I'm just going to do the rest of them and then I'll show you the next step.
Glitz and glitter lighting up the night, painting dreams with a shimmer so bright, rhinestones dancing, catching every eye. This is my moment, gonna touch the sky. Dipped in gold with a stroke of flare, diamond shine in the midnight air. Glue and gems, they're my magic spell, turning the ordinary into something to tell.
I just did random colors. I didn't really think about it. I was just dripping. So now that they're all done, you're going to take your sinker white and you're going to basically cover the back of your piece. And this is where we're going to get the drop effect that makes those little spores, they call them, sinking down into your resin. So the more white you put on, the more it could sink. Now does have the possibility of going too far and dropping all the way to the front of your piece. So you got to be careful with how much white you put in there. And again, I have no idea if this is going to be successful. It's always a guessing game when it comes to these. So don't feel bad if you tried and failed. I have tried and failed many times. It's just, you know, you got to get that right, like, concoction of inks and white and colors and timing. It's all a game of chance. But if you try over and over, eventually you're going to figure out what works the best. And then I'm going to look at the clock, set a timer for 1 hour, and then we're going to come back and we're going to swirl the backs of these and give it that really pretty effect that we want. I'm just going to... I hope I'm not overdoing the white. Again, I don't know. Typically, they say 1 drop of white per drop of ink, but I didn't count my drops, so I'm going to stop there. Set a timer. The blooms look absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to figure out what we're going to back those in, and we'll do everything. Well, no, I can't do everything at once. Those need a lot longer to cure. This needs 1 hour. So we're going to swirl these in an hour, cure everything, and then back coat everything. That's my plan. It's been about 1 hour, so it's time to go in and swirl these. Now what you want is it to be sticky and stringy, so if you touch it with this poker, whatever, it will come up and then you're ready to go. So you don't have to do like circles. You could do whatever design you want. I typically always just do a circle. You could either start in the center or you could start on the end. It's basically your discretion. So I think I'm going to start... And you go, don't touch your mold, but you go down into that color and then lift straight up so you don't leave like a tail. You want to penetrate your colors and that white to get that effect. Let's do a heart-shaped. So I'm going about halfway into this mold. And then I'm pulling straight up until that string breaks. Some of these I think I'm going to do like, just like that. And pull straight up. And then we need to let them cure. So this one I'm going to do like a hook, I think. Just like that. All right, let's do the same thing on this one. Very gentle. We'll go opposite on this one. And hopefully a couple will come out okay. You're not going to get great ones on every single one, I can tell you that. It just totally depends on our colors, on how much white I put in, how I swirled it. It's so many factors. I'm going to go backwards on this one. So don't feel bad if you failed it. Just try and try again. Pull up. Let's start in the center. And these all are backed completely. There's no negative space now that I'm looking at that. So you could basically back it in whatever color that you want to. Start in the center. Let's do I don't know. Heart ones are hard for me. I don't know what to do in them because these are very small. Let's start in the center and just do a heart shape like that. Let's do something like this on these square ones and see what happens. And one more, we'll do the same thing. And pull up, and that's it. Now we wait for curing, and then I will bring it back. I still haven't thought about the back coat on the blooms, but I'll have it when we come back. It's time to back coat everything, and I decided to do black on everything. Black usually always looks beautiful on blooms because those colors pop right out. So the black I used today was this black epoxy already pre-done. Since I didn't need to do any other colors, I usually do that. I made up 9 ounces, and I don't know what possessed me to make up 9 ounces. I think I'm going to have a lot extra. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. I'm going to have to, I don't know if I was thinking 2 ounces for each one of these, but I don't think they're going to take 2 ounces. So we'll see. I may have some extras to finish tonight. I just want to get them pretty good, and then I'm going to push them out of the way and then dome them up. Just push them in the back where they were. And then do the backs of these. Oh gosh, I hope I don't have too much left over, but I possibly could. I'm not really looking to see what I'm using on them, which I should, but I didn't. I think these are all going to be really nice. They look like they bloomed well from the backs, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot. Again, it takes practice, so don't feel like if you don't get it the first time that you're not going to get it, because it took me so many tries, as well as everybody else. If you talk to others in the resin community on Facebook or the group or whatever, everybody has to go through a trial and error until they figure out the best way to use your brands to get the results that you want. Now, I've always used Let's Resin brand for mine, but I know a lot of you don't use that brand, but I can tell you that it works. So if you want to switch, you can, or figure out for your brand what works, what temperatures are good. There's a lot of factors involved, but the biggest is the brand, the temperature, and what white you're using. I did debubble this too, and look at how many bubbles are in there when I poured it. I threw it through my vacuum chamber, although you're not going to see the bubbles. This is the back, the bloom's going to cover the front, so not a huge deal. But there are bubbles in there for some strange reason. Let me get these all out of my way. And then we're going to get everything cured. You're not going to see the black on these or anything. But if there was negative space in here, you would have seen that. So I'm basically just going to fill them up so they fit into the cabochon mold, or the housing. Bezel. Bezel, that's the word, bezel. Not a housing. I guess it could be a housing, but I don't know what I'm thinking. Got a lot going on here in the background, so let's just get these. What? I don't think I'm going to have that much extra, so maybe I was right. I do want to dome them just because they will fit better into the bezel, just from past experience. If you don't fill them up, then you're going to have a little bit of space on the sides of those bezels. I really should have put this in a smaller cup instead of trying to pour from this big one, but that's all right. I'm almost done at this point, and I thought I was going to end up with like 3 ounces left over. I was already trying to figure out what I was going to pour with it, but I don't think I'm going to. Actually, I think I'm going to be pretty good. Might just pour a couple little extras and that's it. I'm glad I did the 9 now that I see how much I did. I always add stuff to my black though before I pour it into something. All right. Oh yeah, I don't have much at all. Great. I'm just going to zap the backs of everything. If you have it domed, I wouldn't spray alcohol on them because it's just going to flow over. Let me just get these popped one more time. Again, I'm not too concerned with what they look like on the backs, but if you can help it, you might as well help it. All right, let me figure out what to do with this. Grab a mold and see what I can mix into this. I'm just gonna go classic. I literally have a ½ ounce left, so 9 ounces was brilliant. I did that on purpose. So I'm gonna marble black and white. I meant to flip these around. Oh no, I didn't. I wanted to do some of these so they can be, if classic colors always look gorgeous. So I wanted to do them with a, what do you call it? Pinch bail instead of a flat back bail, if they work. So this is just white pigment dye. It's not like a paste. I just need to get enough white to come out when we pour. This way we could see some of this white. Just going to stir it. Hopefully they come out pretty and marbly. For all of those of you who like this side of the mold better, today is your day. Get a little bit more in here. I think they're going to be really nice. I never like to leave black alone. I'll either put like, what do you call them? Interference colors or chameleon colors too. You could put in there. Let's do this one. Nice big one. And change the look of that black. I mean, if you like black, then there you go. But I love black. Black is one of my favorite colors. But when I'm doing it in resin, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of boring. But I dress it up after the fact. But regardless, okay, that's done. Now we wait for another cure. I think I got all the bubbles gone. So let's get this cured. Let's unmold and see the best part of the day. Looks like everything's ready to unmold. It's already cooled down when I wasn't paying attention, so let's get moving. The first one looks gorgeous. Love that. Here's the green. What did we put in there? Green and blue? Yeah, green and blue. Ooh. Sometimes, you know, they just come out amazing, and sometimes they don't. That one, Those are nice and subtle, but look at this one. That one is so pretty. They're all really nice today. Let's check out the black and whites. Ooh, look at that. Love it. I have to drill these ones out. That's the only part I don't love. It's drilling them. Oh, that is nice. Very classy. Nice, nice, nice. Love it. Beautiful. Gorgeous. All the words. Just all the words. So I will sand the backs down because these are not all domed perfectly. I can feel it already. Very nice. And I'll put some pretty little pinch bales on there. Okay, what do we do first? Let's do these first. I think this is the colorful one, if it's still in the same position. Ooh, I got too close with my lighter. And I fused it. Okay, good. It's not ruined. That's what happens when you get too close with the lighter. It will fuse your mold to you. Oh, this isn't the colorful one. How did they get switched? Anyway, this is the red and yellow one. Look at those petals. They went all the way to the edge. That one looks pretty good. Not sure I like the black on the back, but it's not too bad. The bloom came out good. Now it's a surprise because I don't know what order they got pushed back in. Hopefully the black looks good on them. Ooh, that looks pretty. That's the blue and the green, which we mostly got green. Not too shabby. Let's do the next one. I'm not going to cheat and look at the back and see. I'll be surprised with you. Ooh. Nice. Now if you back them in white, you'll probably lose your petals completely, so I wouldn't back in white. But clear probably would have been better and made those brighter, but it's not too bad. I like it. Very pretty. And look at that, I did it again. Oh no, it was just stuck under some overpour. That new lighter was like really powerful. The purple and the blue. Nice. I think I could have went darker on the white though. That's my thoughts. Now, if you really wanted to, which I don't think I'm going to, you could top coat these with crushed crystal and have a really pretty top. I don't know, I might do that. Typically, I do that. Let me move these and think about that. I need to keep these out because in my real life, the live isn't come yet. It hasn't come yet. All right, let's do these. We'll start with the biggins. Gosh, I hope some of them are okay. Ooh, look at that one. I love that. That turned out so good. So good. I hope you could see. Okay, next, I don't remember colors. This looks like green and orange. Now this one kind of went down the sides. That's kind of what happens when your alcohol inks hit the side. Then it pulls it right down the side, but it's not a complete failure. Not too bad. Let's do the next. Ooh. Wow. You could see the black behind that one. Oh, let's see. There was a little bit of black showing. I thought everything was covered. That is gorgeous. Even Peanut thinks so. He's in here walking around. Not too bad. Now, that was the purple and the yellow. That didn't come out as it normally does. I lost my purple. Normally it comes out a little. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm not thinking of a Petri with the purple and yellow. I'm thinking of the cloud effect. All right. Well, yeah, the cloud effect with purple and yellow is stunning. Petri's completely different. And I did a couple of them with the purple and yellow. This one dropped a little bit further. Can see a little bit of black in there. Not too bad. Now all of these need something else because they don't have those open bezels. Yellow and purple maybe? Nice, nice. That blue one is my fave so far. That one kind of got too heavy for such a small piece. It kind of went on the edges. Same with this one. It dropped really far. Got some pink and some purple in that one. Let's see this one. I don't know, green and blue maybe? You can back these in white and probably see them nicer. That one's nice. I don't love every one of them, but they're not bad. I wouldn't call them failures. That one went down all the edges. I did better in the larger ones, probably because of the spacing. Ooh, that one's kind of cool. Looks like a little wave in there. I like that one. I don't remember what colors, but it looks really nice. Green and yellow. Not bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Look at that one. Again, I'm thinking I like it better in the larger cabochons. Two more. Oh, this is the one we did kind of sideways swirl. Not bad, but not perfect. Oh gosh, that one really dropped. I must have put too much white in there. Huh. Okay, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I may try out my new Promise Epoxy 1 hour cure and see if I could top coat with that. I don't know, I got a little bit of trimming to do, get those little edges off. But maybe I will try that. I don't know if that's a good top coat because it is quite thin when you mix it up. What is that in there? Okay, let me think about what I'm gonna do. I got some finishing to do on these. Maybe I'll finish all these things first and then think about the top coat.
Yeah. Sun's going down on this little back room. Apron on tight, camera in zoom. 4 white tiles on a scratched up table. Bloom coasters lying like a story in a fable. Michelle's got colors all over her hands. Swirls of faith in her everyday plans. Talking about tilt, torch and time, but her heart keeps slipping into praise between each line. Glitz and glitter, giving God the glory. Every pour another little piece of her story. Thank you, Jesus, for the ones who stop by, watching resin rivers in the light run dry. May every bloom coaster, every bright pendant carry a comfort, Lord, everywhere it's sent. She's praying through the process, steady as can be, that they find peace on the other side of the screen. She's got clear rounds ready, tiny silver frames, dropping ink dots, calling out their names. See that cloud, that soft, slow spread, teaching Petri magic as the colors thread. Blue like mercy, gold like grace, little galaxies in a quiet place. She smiles at the chat, reads a hurting heart, whispers Jesus, meet 'em right where they are. Glitz and glitter, giving God the glory. Every pour another little piece of her story. Thank you, Jesus, for the ones who stop by, watching resin rivers in the light run dry. May every bloom coaster, every bright pendant carry a comfort, Lord, everywhere it's sent. She's praying through the process, steady as can be, that they find peace on the other side. Her hands low, says you already know every name, every need that I'll never see. Let this little studio be a place they can breathe. Oh yeah, glitz and glitter, giving God the glory. Every pour another little piece of her story. Thank you, Jesus, for the ones who stop by, watching resin rivers in the light run dry. Made every bloom coaster, every
I am done. Did these not come to life with that top coat? Oh my gosh. I always forget how beautiful they become when you put a top coat on. Now, I was messing around with the 1 hour fast cure. I did use that. I messed up one batch because I put too much glitter in. I didn't use a crushed crystal. I pulled out my rainbow shimmer. I forgot how much I love this one because it's got all the colors in it. I need to start using that more often. And the second batch, I only did 1 ounce at a time because that stuff gets thick so fast. We've been using that as a top coat when we were doing my friend Ellen's river table, and it was gorgeously top coating things quickly. We literally got 3 top coats on one of his river tables in 2 hours because in 30 minutes you can pour another one because it's like, it's not even sticky. You could touch it after 30 minutes. I'm very impressed. I really hope Let's Resin gets something like that because I do love Let's Resin brand, but they don't have a 1 hour. I think they need a 1 hour. But anyway, in saying that, I did the first 2 and mixed up the second 1 ounce because I didn't want to do all of it at once. I didn't have enough time to top coat. Put too much glitter in, so I put more glitter in and I used it for some pendants. So here is the glitter in all the extras. And then remember that turtle from yesterday that I didn't finish? So I put the rest of the glitter in here. It's literally been 1 hour and I'm unmolding this, and here it is. Nothing special, but it got filled up anyway. So we'll finish it. I'll put some bails on these, but they came out really pretty. Anyway, these are gorgeous. I lifted them up on a cup, so in case they dripped, they would drip down onto the table and not stick to my table. So I love these with the top coat. They really made it so much nicer with that top coat. I always don't, I always second guess, do I want to go through the extra work? And then I do, normally, always do. And I'm always so happy that I did it. These look so pretty, and I love the colorfulness of the glitter. Give me your thoughts on that instead of just the normal crushed crystal that we use every day. Do you like the extra colors? I do. I do, so I'm just going to answer for you. Here's the bails and the bezels. The bails and the bezels. Let me lift these up without dropping them. I did turn these larger ones into pendants, so I did have to drill them out because of the point at the top. So those have some pretty bails on there. I glued all of these with E6000 into their little frames. Put all of the pinch bails on there. I had to drill all those out. These ones got the glued flat back bails on, but they came out really pretty. So that is those. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad I got to do 2 things in less than almost, well, it's just hitting an hour for you, but 2 techniques in 1 video. How is that possible? All right, guys, I'm going to get you some pictures. I hope you have a blessed day. I hope you learned something. Please try it. And if you do, share it on our Facebook group so everybody can see. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed day. Bye.
Glitz and glitter paint her way. She lights up hearts come what may. With a brush of faith she starts. Jesus whispers through her art. Patience blooms in every hue. Her love for viewers shines so true. Shimmer sparkles in her eyes. A radiant soul under bright skies. Glitz and glitter, Michelle, a story. Her colors tell faith and love in every part. Jesus guides her shining heart. Sparkly streams, her laughter flows like sunlit beams. With each stroke her spirit sings, a masterpiece of golden wings. She sprinkles joy like morning dew, in every shade a promise new. A life of love, a life of grace, in her art we see his face. Glitz and holds her shining heart. She sprinkles joy like morning dew, in every shade a promise new. A life of love, a life of grace, in her art we see his face. Glitz and glitter, Michelle, a story